Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm all things sugar and Sade. Hey, and this is where I talk about my best bits of Love Island USA season 7. And today we are talking about episode 25. Now, guys, you know the drill. Before we get into all of that, please make sure you like this video. You might as well do it now. Also, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you never miss a video or a live. And comment. Let me know what you're thinking about the episode. Did you like it? Did you think it was a filler episode like me? Let me know, because it was giving filler to me. Okay, let's get into it. So can't lie, there was a few people that were a bit mad this episode. Shelley was big mad. Ace was mad. Freaking, what's his name? Nick was mad as well. There's a lot of anger going on in the episode. First off, we picked up basically just after the heart rate challenge and Shelley being really annoyed with Huda because of how Huda was going on in the challenge. Now, whether on the side of like Huda did too much or whether she didn't do too much because it's a challenge, one thing remains is that Shelley did not appreciate it. Her argument is, yes, she knows it's a challenge, but when Huda was with Jeremiah, everybody was respectful, including Shelley, and didn't go out of their way to pull Jeremiah to do, like, not even just for chats in general, but also like in challenges not to do kisses and stuff as well with him because of how it affected Huda. She's just saying, I should have the same sort of respect back. Because I don't with you, that means we're not friends. That's how Shelley's got to that conclusion. Now, Huda obviously knows that there's an issue. I think she talks to Chris first. Yeah, she talks to Chris first, and Chris basically just says to her, like, look, just go and apologize to her. Like, tell her that's, it wasn't your intention to do anything crazy or anything like that. I'm sure she'll understand. And, he goes on to say, like, look, if you wanted to be with Ace or do anything with Ace on a serious level, you've had 3 to 4 weeks to do so. You haven't. I think it's just like feelings are a little bit hurt. But I think what Chris is reading from this is if Shelley is upset, that means that she absolutely does like Ace. So it kind of makes it difficult in his position. I think he's reading that. Huda, in her confessional, she's just like, look, I know that I messed up. I wasn't thinking about anybody else in that challenge. She was just thinking about herself. So just to be clear, that she has admitted it herself, that she wasn't thinking about anybody else. So she understands that what she was doing had an impact, and she knew that she wasn't thinking about anybody else. She was just going all in. So she is aware that there's an issue. There's no question whether she's done too much. She knows that she has done too much. She knows this. So people in the social media universe, just relax. So Huda, she goes and talks to Shelley, and she's just like, can I pull you for a chat? You can see the reluctance on Shelley's face. She doesn't want to have this conversation, but she also doesn't want to cause a scene. So she gets up and she walks with her for a bit. And she says, you know what? I actually don't want to talk to you right now. Like, I'm a bit worked up. She doesn't want to say anything out of turn. She doesn't want to say anything that she's going to regret tomorrow. So let's just table it for today and let's talk tomorrow. So I feel we've got two very different people who deal with conflict in two very different ways. Now, Huda wants to deal with it immediately. She doesn't want Shelley to go to bed angry. And Shelley's like, no, I need to protect my peace right now. And I actually just need to take a break from all of this. So we're already going to have a bit of a clash. Then in her confessional, Shelley goes into a little bit more detail of the things that we might not have actually seen because of editing. She said, like, while Huda was doing it, that she was looking at Shelley, like to say, oh, this is cool, like no hard feelings. And Shelley's like, yes, hard feelings. Like, you can't be looking in my eyes and doing this like this is okay to get my approval. Just leave me alone. And I can't lie, I hear that, because if you think that someone is doing the most and then they're playing around with the guy that you're into, or one of the guys that you're into, bearing in mind you're coupled up with the other guy that I'm into, and then you're looking in my eyes like, look, do you know what it was given? It was given Regina George in Mean Girls when she's like, tell Aaron his hair looks sexy, push back.
Why do you wear your hair like that? Your hair looks so sexy, push back. Katie, will you please tell him his hair looks sexy pushback?
Like looking in her face, like, look, I got your man. That's what it was giving. It was giving to me. Obviously, we didn't see that, but the way Shelley was mad, honestly. And the thing is, no one is saying to Shelley, no one in that villa is saying to Shelley, you shouldn't be this man. You're not within your right. No one's kind of really pushing back on her to say that she shouldn't be as angry as she is. Also, when the boys are talking at the top of the episode, they all agree that Huda done the most. So I just don't know how else we can interpret it that Huda actually done the most. But the way they're editing it is like, oh, Huda's the victim. Also, Huda crying every minute, these single tears that are rolling down her face. She is weaponizing those tears. I'm sorry. Like, come on, pull it together. You're not the one who's the victim here. Shelley is, but you're crying every minute. Like, honestly, get a grip. She's sitting there, you know, in the kitchen with Orlandria. She's asking Orlandria, am I a horrible person? Fishing for compliments much? Come on. And Orlandria's just like, what happened there? What you did there? It was a lot, you know, being real with her, crying again. Orlandria even gets up out of there because she's just like, I am not dealing with this mess. Also, the way Huda is draining, they know what's coming next. It will be about Huda for the next 5 to 10 business days, her wallowing in this self-pity state. And she is way too much to deal with. So I totally understand why people are just like, I'm not getting involved. I don't want to be involved in this. I don't want to talk to you right now. I get it. And you know, Maya Papaya, she comes over to Huda while she's in the kitchen and she's just like, are you okay? She says, oh, she doesn't want to talk to me. That's not really what Shelley said. She said, I don't want to talk to you today. I'm not in the right mind to talk to you today. She doesn't want to have that conversation right now. But Huda never says the whole story. So it makes like, again, like portraying to people, as she would do Jeremiah, again, like, this is not the full story. You're not given the full picture of what was said. Anyway, and Maya accidentally spills her drink on Huda. And here, Huda, I deserve it. Like, shut up. What's wrong with you? She's so dramatic. She's so dramatic. Shelley goes and tries to talk to Ace, and she kind of expresses that she is annoyed and aggravated with Huda. She does reassure him and say, like, look, I'm not upset with you. And I'm just like, how? Why not? Why aren't you upset with him? Because if you got smoke for Huda, you should have smoke for Ace as well, because Ace was enjoying himself. He was reveling in that. He was giddy afterwards. He was bouncing Huda. She was working with the energy that Ace was giving her. Like, let's be real. Let's be absolutely real and honest about this. You know, so she should have smoke for Ace, but for some reason she doesn't. However, Ace has smoke for Shelley. Oh, you might think, because in Ace's head, he sees that Shelley doubling back and going to kiss Chris again. He sees that as a violation because they're still open and Shelley is exploring her connection with Chris. He is seeing that as, well, you're kind of like growing things between them. I don't know. I feel like they cut a little bit out of this, or maybe a lot out of this conversation that they're having, because it seemed like it was escalating quite quickly. Ace's thing is he sent someone home and Shelley's there still trying to get to know Chris. I think ultimately, yeah, that's what he's annoyed about. Shelley's like, okay, I understand. By me kissing Chris, it wasn't like I was trying to prove a point or anything. And Ace's response to that is like, well, you're a very intentional person. Everything that you do is intentional, and it looks like intentional to me. Oh, Ace. I'm just like, can't you see that this is a bit of a double standard? Like, what do you mean? And also as well, Ace, if you don't want anyone to be kissing Shelley, or you don't want Shelley to be kissing anyone, then close things off. Like, honestly, like, close things off. I don't understand what the problem is. Like, yeah, okay, cool. The situation is what it is, that you had to send someone home because of how the cookie crumbled. And Huda brought back Chris, who is also interested in Shelley. Yeah. Okay, cool. She's getting to know him because you haven't closed things off. You know she wants things closed off, but you haven't done it. So what is she supposed to do? The thing is, I know, like, obviously, she kind of kept Austin at bay, partly so she could stay in the villa, mind you. Had she not kept her relationship going with Austin, Shelley might not be here at the moment. Let's be frigging for real. Because when Ace had the opportunity to pick her, he didn't pick her. So what is she supposed to do? He has already shown her in that time in the villa that even though he likes her, she might not be his priority, or that might not be the move that he would make. So it only makes sense that she has a backup plan for herself. I don't understand why he doesn't understand that. Like, come on. What is she supposed to do? Anyway, it seems like Shelley doesn't express herself, or let me say, she doesn't express her anger towards Ace. She does it in the confessionals. So it's like she will talk to other people, but she can't actually face him and tell him how she's thinking about things, because she was just like, are you kidding me? In the confessionals, like, you know, you can't be serious. Like, I'm exploring this person because we're not together because of you. And I'm just like, these ladies, both Shelley and Orlandria, you're having these young boys have you up like this? Like, absolutely not. She needs to just calm down. He's 22. She's 27. He's 22. Babe, no. No. She does say to him, like, look, I can't explain it any differently. If you're not hearing me, you're not hearing me. And, you know, Ace is just like, well, it's a lot. For me, it's a lot. So he don't really like that. In the morning, though, he does make her like a lovely breakfast and brings her flowers as well, which was very, very sweet of him. So in the afternoon, they do talk again, and Shelley reiterates, like, you know, with Huda, a line needs to be drawn. Like, there needs to be boundaries being set. And even between Ace and Shelley, boundaries also do need to be set. And they can do that. But Ace kind of takes it of like her explaining how she was thinking about things as her excusing her behavior and her not taking any accountability. And I'm just like, oh gosh, this is a difficult one. I've always said I don't like Ace for Shelley. I really don't like. I wish he had a better option. Unfortunately, that doesn't look like it's gonna happen. Shelley like tells him, like, look, you wanted this open. I'm now in a position where I can get to explore another connection. Like, I'm just talking to him. That's all that's happening. She's not doing anything else. The only time that they do kisses is in a challenge, and she didn't even go all the way in. Not the way Ace is going all the way in, like with Huda. He goes all the way in with, like, he was picking up Iris. He was doing a lot as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's not forget. And it doesn't seem like they're getting to any place where they understand each other, because Ace in his confessional is saying, like, look, I don't feel like I'm being heard. We're not hearing each other, and it's a really sad thing. Ace says to Shelley, because of this, I don't feel like we're in a good enough place that we are in a direction where we can be closed off. And I was just like, not even in the direction. I really feel like this guy is like trying to hold this closed off thing over her for her to act a certain way. Like, no, you set the terms. You wanted to be open. Shelley didn't really want to be open. She wanted to know where things were going because she was focused on you. She kind of just kept Austin there. You knew what it is. You didn't even see Austin as a threat. You see Chris as a threat, though. But yeah, again, Shelley's had enough of the conversation, so she gets up and leaves, and she gets into a little bit of a funk most of the rest of the day. She don't want to talk to anyone. She don't want to talk to Huda. She don't want to talk to Ace. She don't want to talk to Chris. Nobody. Now, I would have said, like, I think like Shelley should really focus her attention on Chris, but it seems like Chris's attention is now going elsewhere. So in the morning, when Shelley got the breakfast from Ace, she also got another breakfast from Chris. And Chris also brought Huda a breakfast too. Now, I did see Huda looking over the plate, and I was thinking, oh, she's just mad because there's two breakfasts. Like, get over it. That's what happens. It's Love Island. Do you know what I mean? But I didn't realize the depth of what her annoyance would go, because then she's talking to some of the other girls. I can't remember who. I think Andrina was there. I can't remember who else was there. But she was just like, yeah, I was looking at Shelley's plate, and Shelley had 2 pancakes, and she had a flower, and I didn't. This girl is insufferable. She's actually insufferable. Like, I didn't mind her and I wanted her to say, but she's actually way too much now. And I don't like the way she's turning this narrative against Shelley. I really don't like it at all, because let's not forget, Huda is a frigging problem. Like, she doesn't know how to emotionally regulate, and she makes herself the victim in every single situation, and it's enough. So Huda, ever the delusional babe, she basically goes up to Chris and she's mad about the breakfast, and she says to him like, oh, thanks for breakfast, but by the way, you gave her 2 pancakes and you only gave me 1, and you gave her flour and you didn't give me any flowers, so that's showing favoritism and I don't like that. Chris, being a mature man, says sorry. He basically says sorry. He says sorry. So he said sorry to her almost straight away, like, sorry. Okay, cool. He's got you. Because she was saying, like, you know, I've had a hard day. Like, you know, don't really need this right now because I've had a hard day. And he's just like, you know what? Is there anything I can help you with? He just calmed her down immediately. But I don't know. Like, yes, he may be good for her because a lot of people say he's good for her, but she's going to mess this up. There's no 2 ways about it. She will mess this up. She can't help herself because there's going to be one time that he's not going to want to hear her BS. Then she's talking to him about the things that happen. I think it was at this point she said, with the situation with Shelley, she says something along the lines of, would it have been better if I was ugly? Huda, this has nothing to do with looks. And I feel like she is used to having girls maybe envious of her, maybe her being a bit of a loner because, you know, other girls don't like her. And she is equating that to how she looks. But in actual fact, it might just be her attitude. It might just be the fact that she is self-absorbed, she's self-centered. It might just be that, you know, she doesn't think of other people before she acts. It might just be those things and not because of how you look. And what a silly thing to say. And what if I was just like, you are fishing for compliments. And I just thought, I don't really like the fact that Chris is feeding into her delusion as well. Because he was just like, oh, you're not the bad guy. Like, nah, it looks sexy. Da-da-da. You've done nothing wrong. Gosh. But to be fair, Chris wasn't there at the beginning of the season to see her escapades, to know that this is just part of the same pattern. She's just so annoying. In Chris's confessional, you kind of hear him say he is into Shelley, but he needs to sort something out because he is feeling Huda. Things are getting deeper with them. And things do get deeper with them because they're in the speakeasy later on in the day, and he tells her that he is taking a step back from Shelley. And because he's taking a step back from Shelley, he can now focus on Huda. Now, Huda's seeing this as a win. Personally, wouldn't be seeing this as a win. You're basically saying she's second best. Do you know what I mean? You're basically saying she's second best. But Huda didn't read it like that. Huda was super happy about this. But, you know, she's like, I find it so hard to be vulnerable with people. Then she's like, I'm cold. So he gives her his shirt. I mean, it was like a loving, like, kind of like tender moment. Him kind of like taking care of her. But again, I just feel like this girl is trouble. This girl is trouble. And then she's asking him, like, has he cheated? He said that he's only cheated once and it was just a physical thing. And in confessional, she's just like, he's such a mature man, and singing his praises and everything like that. And I'm just like, we've seen this before. We've seen this before. This is how she used to talk about, well, not necessarily saying mature, but it's how she used to talk about Jeremiah. So we've seen this before. And I think this is an easy play for Chris. I think he knows how to handle women like Huda, to be honest. And he's just like, you know, I always attract. Oh, what did he say? What does he say? He said, I always attract emotionally unstable women. That was it. He always attracts emotionally unstable women. I thought he's got jokes. He's taking the piss. And and I think she was just like, do you think I am? And I'm emotionally unstable. He's just like, no, I don't think you're emotionally unstable at all. This liar. The laugh I laughed when he said that. Like, yes, you are. A big yes. A big yes, you're emotionally unstable. Oh my God. But anyway, they kiss. So it's official. Huda's got her next fixation. Let's see how long this lasts. Other things to mention is that Orlandia and Taylor had a bit of a conversation. I think in that conversation, Taylor was saying, like, I didn't kiss you in the challenge out of respect to Clark, but I did want to kiss you. So whatever, Taylor. At this point, I wouldn't even be entertaining in this conversation. Like, we're not chatting. We're not friends anymore. Like, we're not chatting. Like, leave me alone. But Orlandria was lapping it up. Taylor, he's so confused. Bro, when a guy is confused about you, it's a no. It's a no. Confusion equals no. Everybody knows that. The thing is, yeah, now you cannot blame Taylor for this anymore. You really can't, because Taylor straight told her he was, I don't know, maybe it is mixed messages slightly, because he said, you know, his heart was saying, no, his head was saying to pick Orlandria and his heart was saying Clark. So that's why he went with Clark. But also he said that she gives me a feeling, Clark gives him a feeling that he's never got with Orlandria. The way I got secondhand embarrassment on this, like, there's nothing more to say. There's absolutely nothing more to say. He is spelled it out. You do not give him the feelings that she gives him. Why would you be entertaining anything after this? It don't make no sense to me. Anyway, Orlandria knows that she needs to kind of get her graft on. So she's talking with Shelley and I think Cierra, or maybe just Shelley, I can't remember. But she's talking with them just to find out, like, who should she go for. So she mentioned Zach. I can't remember who else she mentioned. And then Shelley's like, oh, don't forget about Taylor. What? Shelley, shut up, man. Nah, shut up. That was a silly thing to say. Things with Taylor need to be shut down immediately. I cannot root for Orlandria if she's focused on Taylor. Absolutely not. Yeah, Orlandria and Taylor, that whole, it's over now. It's over. We need to stop. So anyway, Zach is a little bit interested because Zach and Amaya aren't actually seeing eye to eye. They aren't really getting on. And I think Elan is going to try his luck with Amaya and see how they get on. They had a cute little conversation where she didn't realize that Belgium was a country. Bless her. Amaya Papaya for the win, y'all. Honestly, I really wanted her to win. And the other thing to mention is Nic and Cierra. In the challenge, Nic was mad at Elan. He was really, really mad. He wanted to throw hands. And I think he said as much, that he wanted to throw hands, but not to him. He does have a conversation with Elan, and he basically was annoyed at him for making breakfast for Cierra when he said that he wasn't going to do it. Elan was just like, yeah, but you know, I had an epiphany. Brother, shut up. An epiphany, because he used to make breakfast for her in Casa. So he was just like, what better way to show her that I'm still interested? But from Elan's point of view, the last conversation that he's had with Cierra was that, you know, that she's still open. So that's why he went in so hard. So anyway, Nic isn't feeling it and he tells him so. But it doesn't even matter because Nic and Cierra get to go on a date. They go bike riding and have a picnic. They really had a good time, it seems, and they talk about things. Cierra opens up that actually she was a little bit more annoyed than she let on about the whole Nic and Orlandria situation. And she asked him, if it was me and Taylor, how would you feel? And I think that's a fair point. And he was just like, okay, cool. I understand what you're saying. But the thing is, it's helped me see things clearly about where we are. So he's kind of used that to his advantage a little bit as well, but while swerving the answer, because Nic thinks he's smart. He didn't really answer her question at all. He was just like, yeah, I just feel closer to you. Anyway, they're getting on really well and they decide to close things off. Nic formally asks her and Cierra formally accepts that they are now closed off. I thought he was going to ask her to be his girlfriend, to be honest, the way they was building it up. But, you know, close enough in the villa. So they come back. The mad thing that happened, though, is like Elan is talking to Brian about the whole Cierra situation in the villa. And he's like, oh, you know, talking about, you know, the last conversation I had with her. She said she wasn't closed off. And Brian's just like, my guy, I don't even want to be brutally honest, but you can clearly see that, you know, she's not into you like that. She's into Nic. And right now she's on a date. I don't think she's thinking about you. As they're talking, Nic and Cierra come back into the villa and obviously share their news. Poor Elan. Poor Elan. Oh my God, that was brutal. Producers, they're wicked. They're actually wicked, honestly. I bet when they saw that happen, or whether they set that up like that, they must have thought this is gold. So yeah, that was the episode. I don't think there was anything else. They showed a clip of tomorrow night with people putting things in the mail, but I don't know what that is. Like maybe because this is like my first proper season watching US Love Island. I don't know what that's a reference to. So someone clue me in the comments. But yeah, if you made it this far, you know I love you the most. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Make sure you like this video. You might as well do it now. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think of the episode. Who is your fave? Who can go home immediately? Because there's way too many people in that villa who can go home. And yeah, I will see you on the next one. Remember, I am still going live every day this week except Saturday from about 10:15 or 10:30 p.m. UK time. So hopefully I will see you then. Also subscribe. Okay, guys, see you in the next one. Bye.